Soldiers, today we are going to discuss the game settings, and the best heads-up display for 2 fingers, 3 fingers, and 4 fingers players. First, let's talk about the add setting. As you can see, most of the pro players using hip fire, except for the sniper rifles, the reason being that is you can hold the fire button, aim down your target. Once you have the target, just release the fire button, and the weapon will fire straight away. This is a pro sniper trick that you should be practicing. Personally, I'm not really a good sniper though. Next, I will show you the basic settings for the Battle Royale. It's pretty standard. One thing I do want to mention here, is the camera range. It works for the first-person view only. The higher the value you set, the further you can see in the game. So if you are an FPP player, you might want to adjust the number of this setting. Another interesting setting is the vest. You can choose to hide or show the vest for both you and the others. It is not recommended to hide others' vest, however, if you like your precious avatar skin, you can choose to hide your vest. This is a new setting, make sure you don't miss it. Now let's move on to the graphics settings. It really depends on the device you are using. However, no matter what graphic quality you have, I highly recommend maximizing the frame rate. This is essential for any FPS games. Another setting I want to point out here is the real-time shadows. Sometimes it is useful for detecting incoming threats from the sky, so please turn it on if you could. Last but not least is the sensitivity setting. Just to be clear, sensitivity is the most important setting in the game. This is something that you don't want to mess up all the time. Once you have your personal sensitivity set, stick with it, and keep practicing until you get what we call muscle memory. Again, these settings are based on personal preference. They really depend on your device, your fingers, and your play style. So feel free to copy my settings, although they might be not working for you. Finally, let's get to the best heads-up display layout. Start with 2 fingers. Like most of the players, I started playing this game with the default layout, which is designed for 2 fingers. Once you get familiar with the game, you can redesign the layout by increasing the size of frequently used buttons, putting them close to each other so that you can access them easily. You also need to keep keypads on for most of the weapons. This will help you aim down quickly. It's not bad for casual players like my son, but it has limitations. You can only do one action each time with your right thumb, so a lot of fancy moves cannot be done with 2 fingers. For example, hit fire, drop shot, and jump shot. To improve your gameplay skills, you will have to evolve to use 3 fingers. Basically, just move the shot buttons into the top left corner of the screen where your index finger is comfortable to reach. Then use your left index finger to control firing and hip fire. You can do it in the opposite way as well, if you like to use the right index finger. I was a 3 fingers player for a long time until I got my new phone. In theory, you can do any kind of movements with 3 fingers, and you will become a pro player if you can master it. Well done, soldiers. If you get to this point, you are very close to being one of the badasses on the battlefield. Most of the pro players use 4 fingers claw. This is the ultimate goal that every player should be aiming for. By positioning the scope button, crouch button, and jump button in the top right corner of your screen, you can literally do any actions at the same time. And that includes shooting, aiming down sight, moving, slide and jump. Of course, you can swap the buttons from the top right to left based on your personal preference. This is by far the best layout I recommend for all players. With tons of practice, you can become a master of this game as well. Once you get used to it, you will have the muscle memory. You can adjust the opacity of all buttons to the minimum. This will give you a better vision on the battlefield. So what's my current layout? Well, here it is. As some of you might know, I'm using a gaming mobile phone called Red Magic 5S. Like most of the other gaming phones, it comes with 2 physical air triggers on the top corner, which can simulate finger press on the screen. This is really handy for players who came from console games, or players new to mobile FPS games. It makes 4 fingers claw much easier, and it will boost your gaming experience as well. I'm kind of get used to it now. I guess I will stick with gaming mobile phone for a while. However, since the air triggers can only control 2 buttons, it's not like typical 4 fingers claw. I would call myself a 3.5 fingers player. Hope you will find the best control settings for yourself. Let's finish this up with a short gameplay, shall we? You won't believe what happened to me at the end of the game. See you in the next mission. Peace. Soldiers, it's time to get your shit together, and start training. Click the link in description to join our battlefield in Discord. Let's grow together. We give away free CP on daily basis. We also host tournaments with real prize. Make sure you don't miss it.
Further collapse expected. Relocate to safe zone. Enemy spotted.